Welcome back. This is Good Morning Namibia. Now, with rising property prices, economic uncertainty, and shifting lifestyle needs, renting has become a practical and often a very necessary option for many Namibians. To help us unpack the realities of buying and renting in Namibia, we're joined this morning by property agent, Madame Elizabeth Michael. Good morning, ma'am. Welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing on this gift of a Wednesday?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well too. Thank you so much for asking.
All
So awesome to have you this morning.
Thank you so much.
Please talk to us about the current state of the property market in Namibia.
All right. Of course, with the rising urbanization, young people and young individuals moving to towns to look for better opportunities, housing becomes in demand, and therefore we do have a challenge of affordability because young people are looking for opportunities. And it's not always that opportunities are available for them, especially now when we talk about employment, the high unemployment rate. And in most cases, when somebody or an individual decides to purchase or buy a house, they normally buy it with a bank. And in order to buy a house or property with a bank, you need to have a stable job. So we do
What does that mean? So if I'm an entrepreneur,
Yes.
am I not allowed to procure a home through a financial institution?
No, you can definitely. But of course, you will need specific documentation in order to acquire a property. We are now talking about young individuals who are just starting with their lives, who are looking for opportunity. Like, let's say, for instance, a fresh university graduate, right? So this university graduate goes to, travels or comes to Windhoek. Let's say most people are from small towns. And you go to Windhoek or to the city to go and acquire your degree. And once you have acquired the degree, you don't, in most cases, have anything more to do in Windhoek. You then go back to your hometown, and then you probably start applying or looking for opportunities from your hometown. Because obviously, you, in most cases, you can't afford rent because you're still not working. You can't afford rent yet. So, so then it becomes a little bit of a challenge for people to acquire property because of the unemployment, and there's no stable jobs, and that becomes a challenge. Affordability becomes a challenge.
Let me share this with you.
Yeah.
Those who are employed, those with a stable income, tell us that they struggle to acquire property, that they struggle to pay rent. From your perspective as a property agent, what would you attribute that to? Why are we battling to pay rent and or procure property?
Sometimes it's just about how one manages their finances. Of course, if you have a lot of debt, then, because when you are applying for a pre-approval, because before you, when you embark on a journey of purchasing property, you first apply for a pre-approval letter, which is a letter that determines your qualifying your qualifying criteria. So the moment you get that letter, before you get the letter, they actually now check on your pay slips and all your financial documents to determine the weight, to determine whether you have debt, other debts that can get into the way of the financial institution issuing you the loan, right? So so if in as much as you can have a stable job or a good paying job, and you have your pay slip is drained, you have a lot of
Your pay slip is drained, that's
like
what we call it.
Sorry,
Yeah.
in the sense that you have a lot of debt, then you will not, you are likely not to be granted the loan, and which brings us now back to the affordability, right? Yeah, so you are likely not to be granted the loan.
Very well. So speak to us about the process after having obtained the pre-approval from your financial institution. What is the next step in pursuit of acquiring and buying your own property?
All right, after obtaining the pre-approval, the pre-approval letter serves as a guide, right? It guides you into checking what you qualify for, or what you can afford, right? So if the bank gives you an amount of, let's say, 900K, you now go into the market and you look for a house in that range. It's either, I won't really advise somebody to buy a house that is exactly 900K. I would advise an individual to buy a house that is probably around 800 or 750, somewhere there.
So less than the amount that you qualify
Yes,
for.
at
Why is
least.
that your recommendation?
so that it can also so that the surplus amount can cater for the additional expenses, because sometimes the house can be selling for 750, and then it's excluding additional costs, which are the transfer costs, the bond cost, and all the other costs that might be incurred during the purchasing process.
So
Just to- yeah.
thank you very much. Let's use your very good example of qualifying for 900K. Do we still find decent homes in this market at this point in time for 750K?
Yes, you do. For example,
In Ludwigsdorp?
no, definitely not. But you can find decent homes. Young professionals are now going for sectional titles, but I wouldn't really advise a family, how do I put it? An individual or a person that has, okay, a married couple, let's put it that way, a married couple to go for a sectional title. I would prefer a married couple going for a freestanding house, right? But for young professionals, sectional titles are ranging from 750, 800. So
On the outskirts of the Namibian capital or
no,
whereabouts?
no, not in the outskirts. Not in the outskirts. We do have. There is a development that is currently ongoing in the Ochomisa Extension 10 area. I'm not quite sure if you're familiar with it. And there are a lot of sectional titles there, and development is still ongoing. So, and most of those houses are occupied by young professionals.
Thank you.
It's either an individual that recently started working or an individual that is doing very well in business. Because earlier you asked me, is it only people who are employed or also entrepreneurs that can afford or that can embark on a journey of purchasing a property? And an entrepreneur can also do that, of course, with audited financial statements and all the necessary documents, marital, if they are married, a marriage certificate, audited financial statements, and all the necessary proof of funds that will be required by the financial institution.
I wish we had the entire day to unpack this important matter, but we don't. There's still a school of thought that says rather rent instead of buying. Because if you do rent and you pay an amount that's less than what you would have paid in terms of the bond, you can invest the excess. What is your take?
I would prefer buying, right? I think a lot of people are sleeping on the idea of property investment. When you buy a property,
You're here to wake us up.
I guess. So if you buy a property, if you own if you have a property of your own, then at least you can decide not to actually live in the property. And if you have it up for rent, then the bond, that way the bond will be paying for itself, right? So the rent money that you'll be collecting on a monthly basis can as well be the one that is paying for the monthly installment that you'll be paying for the loan that you acquired from the financial institution. So yeah, I would advise people to rather purchase property rather than just renting, because renting you are actually helping someone else pay off their bond while you can actually have your own bond, and then
For 20 years.
when you are renting, you are helping someone pay off their bond, right? The rental fee that you'll be giving on a monthly basis is being added to the person's installments that they need to be paying to the financial institution. So yeah, I would prefer purchasing rather than renting.
Yeah. Let's say you don't have another option at this stage. We have seen some petrifying pictures of a one-bedroom apartment or a bachelor pad being advertised in the Namibian capital at an exorbitant rental fee. In the absence of a rent control board regulating this, speak to us about what the prices look like at the moment in terms of a one-bedroom apartment, a two-bedroom apartment, maybe even a house to be rented in this capital.
Prices actually vary depending on the location of the property.
Whether it's Havana or Ludwigsdorp.
Yes, I mean you cannot compare a Havana apartment or flat. Let's say for instance the Havana flats. You cannot compare those flats to a flat that is probably somewhere close to the CBD. Prices will definitely not be the same. But a typical one-bedroom, or let's maybe say a bachelor flat, will roughly be in the range of 3,500 to 4,000, a decent one.
In the CBD?
No, not in the CBD, a decent one. Let's say in Katutura Central or somewhere around the area of Komastau. Yes, but of course in the CBD, it should be ranging from, a bachelor should be ranging from 5,500 to 6,000.
Utilities included or excluded?
Sometimes utilities can be included and sometimes they can be excluded. Depending, it just depends on the lesser of the property. Yeah, it just depends on their terms that they set.
This has been so insightful. We appreciate you. Any final thoughts, madam?
Final advice?
Yes, please.
I would advise, if there's a young person that would want to embark on the journey of becoming a property agent, you will need to have hard-working skills, right? It's you are an entrepreneur, and when you work, it's only when you work, because if you do not work, then there is no income. So yeah, I would advise an upcoming an individual who would want to pursue a career in property to at least have hard-working traits and resilience, most importantly, because we come across a lot of challenges, and sometimes you just feel like, okay, I think, because when you're an entrepreneur, you persuade people to buy property, right? You persuade people to buy property. It's sort of like, I don't really want to say convincing, but yeah, you persuade people to buy property. So you need to have a spirit of resilience, and you also need to have hard-working traits in order to make it in this career. Because if you do not have it, then you can easily fall back just because of some challenges and some pulling factors that might occur during your journey.
But if you do have those traits, it can be a very rewarding career.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sharing those insights.
Thank you so much for having me, Denver.